Hello, welcome to the Trading Success Show. Well, you're welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, you're welcome to the channel. Most of the stocks I will be talking about today are the Chinese stocks. It's nothing has to do with listing or delisting or whatsoever, or whatever you can think of. But there has been a massive sell-off in the market, and it happened on Friday. What do we expect? What are we expecting on Monday? What are we gonna do on Monday? That is the question. What we're gonna do is we're gonna trade the stock no matter what. I am ready. Are you ready? Now, this sell-off are pretty much overdone, overblown due to what we call liquidation. Now, what is liquidation? According to Investopedia, liquidation refers to the ease with which an asset or security can be converted into ready cash without affecting its market price. That is a lie. Why? Guess what happened to Viacom? Viacom got liquidated. Positions got liquidated. There was a margin call. There was also a block trade. Now, what is a block trade? A block trade, according to Investopedia, is the sale or purchase of a large number of securities. A block trade involves a significantly large number of equities or bonds being traded at an arranged price between two parties. And we can go further saying these trades are generally broken up into smaller orders and executed through different brokers to mask the true size. It's like for me going, buying a stock, for example, instead of me buying 1 million shares, and I will allow only 1,000 shares to reflect in the market in the time and sales. Okay, in the level 2 you're just gonna see 1,000 shares, not knowing that I'm selling 1 million shares. Okay, so it is very important. There are tools as well that you can use to track dark pool or block trades. Okay, now what is a margin call? A margin call occurs when the value of an investor margin account falls below the broker's required amount. For example, you have $50,000 margin account, and all of a sudden, guess what? You entered into a position. Say you enter into a $40,000 position, and the stock actually went way below that $40,000. Say, for example, the stock went to $30,000. You are going to get a margin call, most especially if it's on a Friday. That is what happened to these stocks that I want to talk about. Okay, right. So on Friday, looking at Finvis, there were stocks that we have a top losers or new holds. These are the stocks that got margin called and got liquidated. Look at DISCK, for example. This is Discovery. Look at where the stock was trading. Look at the growth on the stock, just continuous growth on the stock. And all of a sudden, guess what happened? Boom. This was a continuous growth. The stock was going and was going. All of a sudden, something happened and it just tanked. This is as a result of liquidation, large block trades by Goldman Sachs. Let's go into that. Okay, now looking at this stock, this is what happened. There was a situation on Friday that happened that most of these positions got liquidated. Look at Viacom. They actually dropped 27%. Just one single day. Discovery actually dropped 27% again. However, the market was still pushing higher and higher and higher, right? But there was a liquidation. Okay, now let's go into these details from pos2.com. Viacom stock price fell 27.31%. Why it happened? The stock price actually went from $66.35 per share to $48.23 per share. According to CNBC, it's a liquidation of holdings at several major investment banks linked to Archegos Capital Management. So we saw this with Viacom and we saw this with Discovery. We also saw this in other stocks as well, like IQ, GSX, Baidu, just a little bit on Baidu side. Okay, so however, this was as a result of the early selling came through block trades, like I talked earlier, from Goldman Sachs, which has offered more than 30 million shares of Viacom stocks during midday trading. Not at night, not at after hours. Some actually happened pre-market actually, and all of a sudden the stock just kept tanking and tanking and tanking and tanking non-stop all through. This is the result of it right here. It didn't even respect the 50 SMA at all. It just kept tanking and tanking. It is crazy. Now, according to an article on Fidelity, still the same talk of the town about these sell-offs, these block trades, by these institutions. Okay, so a number of banks were involved in the block sales. A source familiar with the matter said on Saturday that Goldman Sachs Group was involved in a large block trade. The Financial Times reported that Morgan Stanley sold 4 whopping billion worth of shares. Not millions, not thousands, but 4 billion worth of shares early on Friday. Early, that means they've been selling this pre-market, followed by another 4 billion in the afternoon, making a total of 8 billion shares. We're not talking about 1,000, we're not talking about millions, but we're talking about billions. And also others as well, like TME also tank, VIPS also tank, Discovery also tank, Viacom, Fesh, IQ, GSS also tank. Now we're going to look at this stocks. Okay, for me, it's all about where there will be bounce. I'm looking for a bounce. Where is our possible bounce on this level? Because I'm very positive that these companies, they're not going to go bankruptcy. Okay, so I need to look for a level of support on these stocks for a long term. And when I'll be dealing with these stocks, I'll be dealing for a long term, not for a short term at all. If, for example, I get in on Monday, all of a sudden the stock bounced back up to $55 per share, yeah, I'm gonna cash out some, right? So you want a situation whereby we get into support. Like right now, looking at this chart right now, this support actually held right here. We held this support and it will bounce back a little bit. Even if we start selling off by Monday, which I doubt, but you never know. Anything could happen, right? The next possible spot is going to be $25, $26, $25. That's going to be our next level of support. This is a growth stock. Look at that. All of a sudden, boom, the stock actually tanked. Okay, so now let's go into think or swim real quick and look at it. Okay, what we're talking about is DISC K right there. Okay, that is it. See, I was chatting this actually earlier, on Friday, to look at the level of support for a bounce. So now this is the 1 hour chart. Let's go into the daily chart because it helps you to understand what's going on. That is it. Look at the growth on this stock, right? All of a sudden we started selling off. So let's look at the support, possible support level for this stock right here. Okay, now we kind of pull back there, down there, right there. We are supporting right here, looking left. Okay, we are looking left, okay. See here, a little bit one there and there, resistance. Now it's gonna be our support right there, right there. Okay, so pretty much I'm looking for a bounce off this level. If we can bounce off this level, we should be okay. All right, on this particular DISCA. Let's go. I also, because I swing, this is going to be a long-term swing, I like to also look at possible levels. So yeah, so we need to hold this area. If we can hold this area, we should be able to bounce back up. I should be looking, on the option side, I should be looking for a long-term call on this name because it's just a liquidation, margin call block trade. So I don't think these companies or these businesses is just gonna go down the drain to zero. It's also possible. So I have this on my radar. Next one, I will be looking at the same chart pattern, the same liquidation block trade issue is VIPS. Okay, VIPS actually bounced back. Okay, see all this chart, all this stuff. I was doing this so that I will be able to trade this, right? So now look at what happened. We actually bounced off this support. This is our 200 SMA. We bounced off this area, from $25 or 24, pretty much $25 all the way to about $35. That's a 10-point move in a single day. Okay, in a single day. So whatever happened, I will be looking for short covering. So they're gonna cover this position. Okay, all this sell off, they're gonna cover this position, and then we're gonna bounce a little bit. I need a consolidation, just a little consolidation around this area for a move higher. These are the levels I will be watching for, either a break up or a breakdown. So right now we are around this level right now. This is going to act as our resistance. There's a little mini resistance around here, so this is going to act as our resistance, which is the $31.33, and then the next resistance is just going to be $32.86. So these are the levels I'll be watching for. If we cannot hold this level of $30.25, $30.23, then we'll pull back down to about $27, $27.50 or so. That's where we're going to pull back down to. So keep an eye on that. The next one is going to be IQ. This is a Chinese one too. So look at the sell-off. Okay, so now what I'll be looking for is, right now we have our support around this area. So this is our support around here. So if we hold this area, we can maintain this area, we should be able to push back up to about 1866 level. So 1866 level is our resistance, and then once we hold this spot, we should be able to go. But I am overall expecting some form of a bounce on this name, to be honest. I'll be expecting a bounce because we're gonna go up. Okay, we're gonna push back up at some point. Then the next one is VIAC. Okay, the same thing, the same stuff, the same pattern. I'll be looking for a pullback. This actually push back to close to the 200 SMA and then bounce back up. Okay, So our levels on this is going to be right around here. It's going to be our levels right there. Support and resistance. What is support and resistance? Support and resistance is this very simple thing. Let's, for example, we have this right here and we have this right here, and for you bounce a ball, and when you bounce a ball and the ball shoots up, it hits the resistance, it hits the ceiling. This is the ceiling. It hits the ceiling, and guess what is going to happen? It's going to tend to pull back down and then come down to the floor. And that floor, for example, if that floor is not solid enough to hold the ball, maybe the ground is just too soft, guess what is going to happen? It's going to pull back down. Okay, it's going to continue falling down. So, but if this level of support is very, very strong, the ball will tend to bounce back up again, okay, to whatever resistance is out there. So if, for example, on the resistance spot, if this ball or if this ceiling is just too soft, it's not strong enough to hold the, to reject the ball. If it's so soft, the ball will push through resistance because the ball has a lot of momentum. Okay, there's a lot of momentum in the stock. Okay, so that is how I pretty much give just a simple explanation of support and resistance in a stock. Okay, so for this right now, we have our support here as our 200 SMA. Okay, and this area is going to be our resistance. However, we are just a tad bit below the resistance level, but that doesn't mean that it cannot be resistance. Okay, so this is the level we need to watch on Monday, 48.54, to see if we can reclaim that level to push to this next resistance. And then if we can hold this area again, then we'll be able to push back up. I'm expecting some form of a bounce on these names as well. Next one is going to be our we've talked about IQ, and we'll talk about GSX. Okay, same thing, same pattern. Okay, same pattern. Right now we're actually below the resistance level. We need to go above this 42.34. So 42.34 is our resistance. Okay, right now look at how our support held. Look at how the support held. See what I'm talking about. You want to be looking for a particular spot. Whenever a stock is selling off, you want to look for a spot where the stock is going to find support. And this is support right here. This is support. And guess what happened? All this sell off ended up on the support. Okay, so this level right now, this is the support, which is a decent spot. And then where we're gonna go next, if this support holds, we're gonna push back up to the next resistance. And if this resistance now becomes another support, we're gonna push back to the next one. The same thing is gonna happen. Just like that, we're gonna keep going higher. Also the same thing coming down too. So it is critical that as an investor or long-time investor, it is very important that you understand what is resistance and what is support. Because without knowing resistance and support, you will tend to exit a trade really quick. You don't want to exit a trade really quick. Like for example, now this stock has been selling off, and this, you know that 27 is going to be your support. You're going to enter the trade here. This is going to be your entry right here. And then when the stock push back to this area, which is your resistance, then you're going to exit your position. You can exit a quarter of a size, or you can exit half a size, or you can exit your full size. Okay, you can also exit your full size, no questions, no problem. Okay, so understanding levels, Understanding technical support and technical resistance is very critical in trading. Not only day trading, swing trading, long-term investment, whatever it is, you want to understand these levels. Because let's take for example, you are a long-term or investor. Look at this GSX. This is a top and this is another top. Now, this plus this is equal to 2. And that means number 1, number 2 is now a double top. Okay? This is now a double top, which means a possible reversal. It doesn't have to tap the top of that easily. It doesn't have to be like to the T, but close enough is a double top. Okay, so it is very important. Look at the volume, so huge, but I'll be looking for a bounce around this area come Monday morning. Okay, the last one on the sell-off list is TME as well. Look at how TME bounce off levels. Let's chart is looking left. This is a support coming from the top. We have a support there. Okay, look at how we actually, let me highlight that. Look at how we tap our support. We push back, we push down a little bit, not a problem, no, it's okay. And then all of a sudden we push back. Now we are going to fight our resistance, and our resistance is the 200 SMA. That is going to be our next resistance, because also that level coincide with this candle, with this area right here, this consolidated spot. So critical, it's very critical that you understand these levels. Support and resistance. Where are you going to get your trade? Where are you going to get in? Anyways, these are the stocks I will be watching for a bounce back up for the coming week. And thank you for listening and thank you for watching. However, this is not a recommendation to buy or sell. It is just, these videos are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Investing involves risk. Have you a good one, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.